Hello, everyone. Welcome into post-show headlines. I'm Andrew Salciunas with Connor Thomas. Johnny had to leave a little bit earlier today. His daughter has something that only smart people do, so I've never been invited to it. You may have been invited to it in your Division III collegiate
maybe high
program.
School, college, I kind of
Okay. Well, congratulations to Liv Kincade. Congratulations to the Kincade family. Connor just has to work extra today. All right, post-show headlines, 5 topics, 2 minutes each. Then we get out of here. Like, subscribe, everything on the YouTube page. We appreciate it. All right, so number one, I always like to try to do with something relevant because I got some wild ones today. But the Phillies. Today we talked about Marsh and Bohm. And obviously you have to throw in Stott too because I don't know how much they're in love with him against left-handed pitching. I know he played against Sale the other day, maybe for the glove for Wheeler. What can the Phillies legitimately do? So it's April. You're not making trades yet unless you completely overpay for somebody. You're not making trades yet. It's too early for Aiden Miller.
Yeah.
So your options are Sosa, who can only play one position.
Right.
It's not like he can play second and third at the same time.
After that robbed home run in Game 1, he might be
able to.
But yes.
You got Rojas for Marsh, but Rojas has his limitations, and we expect Crawford to come up at some point this year, but that's not till like the summer. So what can the Phillies legitimately do? Because you can't platoon everybody. You can't just call up everyone. You can't just get rid of them for a bag of balls. What do you do?
Nothing. The Phillies really have nothing they can do, and that's okay because they're a very good baseball team, and these players, some of them, have stuff to hold on to say we believe they can become solid players again. Brandon Marsh, not one of those guys.
No.
Bryson Stott, Alec Bohm are those type of guys. The thing is, right now where we are in April, you need to ask yourself, one, is the team winning? Yes.
They are 8-3.
Can the team keep winning with those players doing what they're doing? Yes.
Yeah.
Is October tomorrow? No. So you just kind of have to bite the bullet for now. Hope they come out of it. Be a little careful with where you put them in the lineup and how often you play them. And then when you get into an area of the season where you can make these changes, guys are ready to get called up.
Does it worry you at all that there are like legitimately 3 guys where you're like, don't overplay them?
No.
That's a lot. Don't overplay them.
That's a Phillies vacuum because outside of the Los Angeles Dodgers, every team has like 2 or 3 guys that you'd say, don't overplay these guys.
All right. Number 2, we talked about it on the air today, but I had a question that I wanted to ask that we didn't have time for. So Luka Doncic made his return to Dallas last night, and every time he scored, 45 points, by the way, the Mavericks fans cheered. Like, now do you often see the player leave and come back and be loved? Usually it's like the standing ovation and then they get booed if they do something well. Luka Doncic got cheered for 45 points. Fire Nico chants, deservedly so, were happening throughout the arena last night. Is there any player like that comes to mind that left Philadelphia and came back? And I don't, like Chase Utley.
That was my first thought, but I know what you mean.
But like Chase Utley was at the end.
Right.
Like Luka Doncic should get that reaction every time he plays in Dallas.
I wonder what it was like because it was before our time. But I wonder what Reggie White coming back to Philadelphia was like. He chose Green Bay, but still an Eagles legend.
Well, a cheap owner. The Eagles would not pay what Reggie White deserved. So, yes, I think Reggie White would be that answer. Jimmy Butler for at least a year.
Yeah.
Until, you realize that he has a little bit of stink that follows him.
But even him, he had that stink before he came here. He was with Minnesota, he was with Chicago, and then he comes here as his third stop.
But then it's amazing how some guys get booed. Like James Harden. You know what's going to be funny? One day we'll have the conversation. James Harden gets booed when he returns because he wanted out. Yeah. He didn't want to out of Philadelphia. He wanted a contract, and then he did not want to play for Daryl Morey anymore. Daryl Morey's not necessarily in the good graces of Sixers fans.
Yeah.
Will there be a time down the road, he's not going to all of a sudden start getting cheered 2-3 years from now, but like if Daryl Morey's fired and we revisit the neon signs and everything, and I think Harden went way over the top with it. So I'm not defending Harden and, I feel bad that all that happened, but whatever. Like, Harden's one of those guys that was very successful here.
He'll be a guy that we look at more as the Pedro Martinez cool player that played here.
Yeah, okay.
And man, I wish he was longer
here for life. Yeah, I got
exactly.
You. All right. This is kind of a 2-parter, but I was able to make it 2 separate questions.
Sounds good.
You are surprised with my levels of hate sometimes. I am somebody that will almost be more critical of a player because people love them for the wrong reasons. And you're amazed by it.
Yeah.
So the guest, the Philly, J.D. Hammer, nothing personal toward J.D. Hammer, all right? Nothing personal to you. I just did not like getting ripped because I had a specific opinion that J.D. Hammer may not be as good as everybody makes him out to be just because he's got glasses and long hair. Same with Bailey Falter. Same with JoJo Romero in the Red Bull can. Same with KJ McDaniels with the Sixers because he could dunk. Tony Roten had a little bit of dribbling ability, but then also turned the ball over 8 times a game, and so I didn't like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Why are you so cool with people overvaluing players that might not be that good? Brandon Marsh is one of them because the beard, the hair, and the barking.
Yeah, because I don't really care why the fan base likes a player or why they don't like a player. Like, my like of a player is not determined by any outside factors other than my opinion on the person, my opinion on the player. So, if somebody likes a player that I don't like for, incorrect reasons because they have a cool haircut or they wear fun clothes or something, that doesn't change my opinion on the player. That's not the player's fault. How am I supposed to evaluate the player based on the way other fans view him?
I didn't like the Marsh trade before he got
here.
Right. Just because fans fell in love with him did not make me all of a sudden say, oh, you guys like him? I'm going to go the opposite to be that guy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really like his play. I didn't like the trade when it happened. The untouchable prospect of Logan O'Hoppe for a guy that strikes out as much as Kyle Schwarber and hits 80% less home runs.
Yeah.
But when people start, it's like Korkmaz.
Yeah, but
why did you like Korkmaz? I'm staring into the camera because one of you might be watching right now and you liked Korkmaz. Why?
He wasn't
Korkmaz. Good.
Well, here, let me tell you.
Thibault.
This is the other,
your boy.
Yeah, Thibault's my guy. Here's the other part. Sports are supposed to be fun, right? One team wins every year. In a large majority of seasons that I watch, my team's not going to win the championship.
That's true.
So if I find a player that I like, I'm not going. I'm still going to enjoy parts of their game, even if they're not all world players. Sports are supposed to be fun. I like fun players.
Matisse Thibault, he vlogs, so he must be a 3-and-D.
Cool guy.
He must be a 3-and-D player.
He wasn't a 3 player. He was definitely a D player.
People said he was going to be a 3-and-D. No, his defense is overrated too.
Stop it.
He got beat all the time. It's like Rocco.
Be nice to my guy.
Oh, you could deflect the passing lanes. All right, well, don't let the guy beat you in the first place if you're such a good defensive player. All right, so then the follow-up question is, do you have anything like that where it's like you dislike something and it's probably unnecessary for you to dislike it the way that you do? Do you have anything like that? I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was so overhyped that I was like, not for me. I eventually watched it and loved it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like that?
Nope. This is one of my biggest pet peeves with people. I have nothing like that. Because if somebody tells me that they like something and they keep pestering me to try a meal. I have a buddy who's been texting me to try this restaurant forever.
Okay.
And I went this week, and it was really good.
But you didn't go, why? Out of spite?
No. I tried to go. I couldn't get a table one time.
Okay.
People that don't do things because other people say they're good a bunch, I don't get that remotely. That doesn't compute with my brain. If other people like it, probably a good chance I'll like it. I will try it. That drives me wild when people do that.
All right. Last thing. I was going to try to find time to do it on the air, but I just don't know when. We don't really talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates all that much on the show.
You wanted to watch them on opening day,
other than Paul Skeens, yeah. Did you see what they did? This horrible organization that refuses to pay any players. Did you see what some of the things they're doing right now?
No.
All right. First off, if you go to right field, down the foul line, on the outfield fence, Roberto Clemente's number it's his name, and the jersey number is retired.
Right.
They covered it with an advertisement this year and tried just kind of maybe nobody will notice. They covered it with an advertisement. It got ripped to shreds. To their credit, they actually listened to the outcry and have since removed the advertisement, and they're moving it to a different part of the ballpark. But the fact that you did that in the first place, one of the most historic players in the history of the sport, especially your franchise, that's horrible. The other thing, speaking of Roberto Clemente, They did this thing where a lot of people were able to donate to his charity, his causes,
That's
even
awesome.
after his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you donated, your name, you know how if you go Citizens Bank Park,
They got the
has it?
bricks outside
the bricks.
with the names. Yeah.
They removed the bricks.
Oh my God.
Somebody saw a pile of the bricks in like an alleyway near the ballpark, and they were like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. And people were like, I donated money
For a brick.
so that was there. And so two things in the start of the 10 games of the season, they tried just kind of removing without telling anybody.
Yeah, that's
and now they have to go on this PR tour saying, oh, no, we were going to make do. We were going to find it. The bricks are starting to fall apart a little bit. That's like their excuse. That's a horrible look. Why do some organizations just not get it?
Because they don't. I don't know. It's the same reason some companies don't get it. It's the same reason some people don't get it. In this world, in any walk of life, whether it's professional sports or any other industry, there are people that do things right and people who do things wrong.
But this isn't. You have a bad team. This is like a PR person, social media. Like you have a group of people. I would think. Like I don't think one person said, "I'm going to tear up the bricks today." Yeah. Like no, you had a meeting over it. And you agreed that this was the right decision?
A lot of people don't get it, man. And this is perfect way to round this out because the Pirates are idiots for handling it that way. Like that's a mess up.
Yes.
But anytime that you have a gripe with a Philadelphia organization, right? And mainly we're looking at Eagles and Phillies, the teams that are competitive, the teams that seem to always do things the right way, all due respect to Sixers and Flyers fans. Like the criticism that the minor things that these organizations get wrong, like the criticism that they get for those when other organizations are doing this crap, you don't know how good you have it in the city of Philadelphia that we have teams like we do.
Other than like a bad game, name me a bad experience you had at Citizens Bank Park. Name me a bad experience you had at the Link.
Wells Fargo Center.
There's going to be people that get drunk and there's going to be fights that happens every
but
ballpark.
But what are fights among boys?
These ballparks and the arena, it's all like the Sixers, when we went for a knockout, they were on a massive losing streak. They still make it a party while you're there.
Absolutely.
So it's, to your point, we do have it pretty great here in Philadelphia. All right, like and subscribe, everything that's going on the YouTube page. We appreciate it. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Johnny will be back on the air tomorrow on a Friday, so we love that. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow.